Hi there, in this lecture I want to show you how to use IOU feature for emulating Cisco routers in GNS3. As you see, IOU stands for iOS on Unix. The combination of VirtualBox and GNS3 make this opportunity for network engineers to emulate real-world routers and switches. And I want to show you how you could use these two softwares for emulating real Cisco routers and switches. For this purpose, there are some requirements. You should have VirtualBox installed on your system. You should have GNS3 IOU VM. You should have IOU license. And you should have IOU iOS files. These prerequisites are available in internet and you could download them. Let's see how we could use them for emulating routers and switches. The first step is to install Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager, or VirtualBox for short. If you want to download VirtualBox, you should go to Oracle's website and download VirtualBox for free. And then do just some next and finish, and then Oracle VirtualBox will install in your system. Then you should download the GNS3 IOU VM.ova file. That's here. You see that this is the file GNS3 IOU VM underline 1.3.3. This version is the version of your GNS3. Remember that GNS3 IOU file should be as the same version as your GNS3. I mean, if you have GNS3 1.3.3, you should download this file, and if you have GNS3 1.3.2, you should download the related version of OVA file. I install GNS3 1.3.3 on my system, so I get this file to emulate my routers and switches. To import this file in Oracle VirtualBox, you should go to File menu and select Import Appliance. And then click on this icon and select your OVA files and click Next. And I suggest you to click here, initialize the MAC addresses of all network cards and select import. Then this OVA file is imported into your VirtualBox and it is ready to use. So you start it. When you start this virtual machine, you will see an error just like this and say just change network settings. This window will appear in your system and you click OK, and this virtual machine starts in your system. When you install VirtualBox on your system, a network adapter is added to your system, which is host-only adapter. And this host-only adapter has the IP address of 192.168.56 range network. Let me show you this. This is VirtualBox host-only network, and as you could see, it has the IP address of 192.168.56.1, which is host only, which means it has the direct connection only to your local system. Now the IOU VM is started and ready to use. The username is root and the password is Cisco by default. If you are Linux familiar, you know that there is a command which is if or ifconfig to show us what is IP address of our network adapters. As you could see, the IP address of this system is 192.168.56.101, and I have the one IP address on my virtual host network adapter. So I should see this from my system. Let's check it. This is my command prompt and I issue the ping command 192.168.56.101, and it is okay. We have the connectivity between our virtual machine and our system. The next step is to use or upload the iOS files into the system. To do this, we should open up a browser and type the IP address of our virtual machine, http://192.168.56.101:8000/upload. As you could see, GNS3 provide a platform for you to select and upload an image for GNS3. We click on browse and go to the path. As you could see, I download two files, one for L2 and one for L3, which means L2 means for switch emulation and L3 means for router emulation. First, I select L2 image and click open and click upload and wait until the file is uploading into your GNS3. You see, the file is uploaded into the virtual machine and there is an address for this file. We need this address further in GNS3. Then we select the other image and upload it in the system. Now we have uploaded two files in our IOU virtual machine and the other configurations will be done in GNS3. Let's go to GNS3. So we open up GNS3 and do our configurations. We go to edit menu, select preferences. First, in server tab, we should provide host binding. By default, GNS3 binding to the loopback IP address, and you should change it to 192.168.56.1 because we want to have communication between GNS3 and our virtual machine, which was 192.168.56.101. Then we go to remote servers and select this 192.168.56.101 port 8000 and add it to the system. Then we go to iOS on Unix and provide the license file to GNS3. It is in documents. I select it here and click apply. And then we go to iOS devices and ready to import our images that we have imported in VirtualBox. So we click on new. As you could see, server type is remote and the local in Windows machines are disabled because Windows machine could not be a Unix system. And if you install GNS3 on your Linux operating systems, this option will be enabled, but you should have some configurations and install the packages on your system. In Linux systems, you could emulate IOU devices without using VirtualBox. So we click next. You have chosen to use a remote server. Please provide the path to IOU image located on this server. And we click OK. The path that we have them here now are usable. So I select the path, copy this path and provide it here. First the L2 image, sorry, it was the name. I named it switch and the IOU image here and it is L2 image. We click finish and we have switch here. Next, again, we click on new, next, OK, and select the router and put the path of L3 image here and click finish and click OK. Then everything is OK and ready to use. We select here and click router here and let's start our router. As you could see, it is started and put a switch here. Just to don't confuse, we could change the symbol of our switch and select this icon for our switch and we connect our devices together and I start my switch 2 and they are ready to use. We click here to see our consoles. As you could see, the consoles are ready. Just to see the connectivity and configuration, I put IP address on these interfaces, Ethernet 0/0. So I go to the interface fast Ethernet. No, it is Ethernet 0/0, IP address 192.168.1.1 with this subnet mask and no shutdown. In IOU2 device, we go to interface Ethernet 0/0 and select IP address. As you could see, it is a switch and you could not assign IP address on layer 2 interfaces. So we have two options. First, select interface VLAN and assign the IP address on it, or choose the command no switch port and take this interface to layer 3 and then assign the IP address of 192.168.1.2 with this subnet mask and say no shutdown, and now we should ping the other side, which was 192.168.1.1. As you could see, we have the connectivity between these two devices, and you could practice all of your configurations, all of your CCNA, CCNP, and CCIE examples in this scenario without any specific load on your system. If I show you my task manager, you will see that VirtualBox only use 1% of your system when IOU virtual machine is start on your system. The nice thing about IOU devices is that you could increment the interfaces which are installed on these switches or routers. To do this, you could go to Edit menu, select Preferences. In your IOU devices, you could select your device and click Edit. And in Network tab, you could select Ethernet adapters and increment it, or serial adapters. It is very nice. You could have a switch with serial interfaces. So we could assume that GNS3 emulate for us for the 500 series or 6500 series, because we could have the serial interfaces on our switches. But the drawback about IOU devices is that in Windows, not in Linux version of GNS3, you could not capture the packets on these devices. If you select capture packets, Wireshark will do the work, but you couldn't see the captured packets. If you want to have them in Windows, you should have other devices than IOU devices in your map or scenario and select the side of that device in your system. Let me show you this. For example, if you see this and click OK, capture is started, but when you want to start the Wireshark, you will see this error. The files are created in the system, but the Wireshark could not open it because the path is not reachable via this address inside Wireshark. Maybe in future versions GNS3 resolve this issue and you could open Wireshark in these situations too. If you want to capture IOU devices, you could put, for example, an Ethernet switch or a router which is emulated by GNS3 other than IOU platform, and connect it to your IOU device and then capture the other side. You see that you could capture IOU 1 port Ethernet 1/0 or switch or SW1 port 1 Ethernet encapsulation. You could select it here, and then Wireshark will start and you could see your captured packets here. Okay, in this lecture we see that how we could emulate IOU devices, how we could emulate Cisco switches or routers with IOU platform. I hope this lecture helps you to improve your knowledge, and see you in the next lecture.